For the past 10 years, I've been living in my own bubble of no-code web design and drag and drop, and I just thought it was enough for me to build websites. And I proved it because I did build quite a few websites, drag and drop, using Divi and so on, and I didn't see the need to want another page builder. So over the past few days, I've been taking a look at other opportunities of just designing websites, and I specifically zoned in on Bricks Builder, because I bought a lifetime license about 2 years ago, I think. They had a lifetime license, it was going for $169. So I bought that and pretty much never used it. So if you haven't watched my video that prompted me to talk about Bricks Builder, you can watch my video about how I got a client, and the website is a bit complex, and I was looking for ways to build my website. And I was thinking of looking at other alternatives like Bricks Builder. So anyway, as I'm going through the content of Bricks Builder online, I start to realize that, oh my goodness, there's another world of web design processes, which does not necessarily have to be drag and drop or no code based design, but actually brings a lot of amazing flexibility, scalability, and results. So as I'm watching through these videos, I come across a guy called Kevin Gary. I never heard of him before, and oh my goodness, I watched his videos. By the way, they're well made, and the guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, he's good. He's good. He said something that really hurt my feelings, you know. He said, if you have a page builder that does not have a div as a building block, then you really have to consider changing your page builder. So I look at Divi and I'm like, oh my goodness, we're in Divi. We don't even have the Divi as a building block. Man, I just felt like, wow. Anyway, guys, I'm just joking about he hurt my feelings. So when I started looking at Divi closely now, I can see that there's a lot of limitations in terms of designing complex layouts. I mean, it's not just the workflow, but the layouts. There's a lot that can be done. So it really got me thinking about the whole idea of designing websites. In my opinion, I don't think you can really get away without knowing basic CSS. You really need to know basic CSS, because in those areas where you need to do some tweaks, you're definitely going to need to add some CSS code. Now, for me, to be honest, I did not find the need to learn CSS, and I'll be honest with you, I don't code in CSS. I have no idea how CSS works, but it's not because I didn't want to learn it, but I didn't feel the need to really spend time and learn CSS. So what I found out was there's a lot of discussion about class-based design or class-based editing being flexible, expandable, and scalable, and so on, and actually much easier. And as I was watching these videos, I could see how easy it is. But of course, as someone who hasn't used CSS and haven't really gone into that, I really found it so overwhelming. Okay, very overwhelming, because oh my goodness, they have this thing called BIM or BEM, I think, where you have to the naming system had to be a certain way. Now, all that was just way too much for me. But having said that, I did a few examples, followed a few tutorials, and I can see now that this is really powerful. It is really powerful. And if you add that to Flexbox and the grid, oh my goodness. I mean, this is web design on steroids, to be honest. So when I look at Divi now, I thought to myself, okay, are they going to change the workflow? Well, possibly. And then I look at the previous years, because Bricks is not a builder that's been out for a very long time, same as Elementor, you know. Why didn't Divi implement these things in the builder first? And then I realized that Divi was one of the first page builders to come out there. And I think that they really focus on other areas, like making sure the support was great, investing in a lot of education as well, because that's, I mean, it costs money. And for those of you that don't remember or seeing me for the first time, I used to be a content creator for Elegant Themes for over 5 years, I think. So I think their money went into other areas like the marketplace, because that has been going on for a while as well. I mean, the development really took quite a long time. Teams, Divi Teams as well. Divi Cloud, just to make the whole process easier. So what I pray for now is, yes, I can see where the effort went, but because they were focusing on these things that needed time and development, this is how the other page builders caught up. Elementor just came in and just Bricks right now, really, I mean, looking at it, It's got so much potential, so much potential. We also have GeneratePress as well. I mean, all these other guys now are starting to make a lot of noise. So what does it mean for those of us that have invested in Divi for all these years? Well, we can just hope and pray that we get these building blocks like the div, the section, and not really work on the rows. We want to see like some proper sections. And also, we need the Flexbox. We also need the CSS grid. I mean, if you've used Flexbox before, it is so fun to use. And I don't think there's any layout out there that you cannot build without Flexbox. It is that good. And when you use Flexbox, it makes mobile design even much easier, because you can just change the direction of how your content should go based on the screen that you're working on. It is so easy. So it really got me thinking, because do I now ditch Divi to go for Bricks Builder and then start going through this whole curve of learning how Bricks Builder works? Man, that's a big ask, because this channel that you're on is built on Divi and all these tutorials. And not only that, I also have Divi University. These are a group of loyal members that have been with me for many years. So that needs a lot of development and a lot of work, especially now that Divi 5 is coming. So to really jump ship, it doesn't really work. And besides, if I do jump ship, it means I have about 6 months of really learning CSS and how Divi works, and then start making tutorials on it. I can't afford to do that. I mean, financially, that doesn't work for me. And also, just the idea of feeling that I've neglected everyone that paid for my lifetime membership for Divi University, that won't sit well with me. So, as I was sat down thinking, what are we going to do as the Divi community, and also in terms of content, and how we can improve our web design skills, I've started to realize that we definitely need to learn basic CSS as Divi users. The drag and drop, yes, you can get away with it, but there are times where you want to speed up your workflow. You're going to need that CSS code to make things better. So we need to learn basic CSS. And I'm actually starting to learn CSS now. And perhaps maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to put together a course for CSS for Divi users. Okay, that's idea number one. Number two, the websites that I'm seeing, the starter sites, they're just way too basic. And there is a workflow that I was thinking about. As we're designing websites, we also need to build dynamic websites. And these static brochure websites, they're okay. But to speed up the workflow and to make our layouts better, definitely we need to start looking at dynamic websites. And I think these are the type of sites we need to start seeing now in the Divi starter sites, because they just make the process of building websites much easier, and also even scaling the websites much easier, because all you need to do is to use advanced custom fields or MetaBox or something like that to then start designing these amazing looking websites. Because the more they start pumping out these starter sites, it's like, in fact, I'm not a big fan of these starter sites, because every time I pick a nice design, don't get me wrong, the designs are fantastic, but when you start customizing it now for what you need, oh, it's a nightmare, because you find yourself now just deleting the whole section again. And then it brings me back to, okay, I might as well just start designing the whole site myself. So yes, custom post types is, very important. And I think there should be more of those type of websites, or templates at least, or starter sites. The other thing that I was thinking about when it comes to Bricks Builder or Divi is Divi has an ecosystem now. It has the marketplace, the support is amazing, there's Divi Teams, Divi Cloud, and all these things. It really unifies the whole product. So as I mentioned earlier on, I'm just looking forward now to see some better modules and better building blocks for our websites. I think once we get that, at least we won't be as fantastic as Bricks Builder in terms of the tools and the process and all of that, but at least we'll have added a bit more horsepower to our web design product. At least that's what I'm looking forward to. So don't worry, guys. I am going to continue using Divi, and I'm going to also continue creating content on Divi and see how it goes. Wherever I can add a bit of advanced stuff, I'll definitely go in and do that. As I mentioned, I am starting to work on CSS, dynamic websites, and so on. But having said that, I am also using Bricks Builder. I really need to learn how to use it, because I look at my own websites right now, and they lack a lot. I mean, to be honest, for someone who creates tutorials for my channel about Divi, looking at my sites, it's appalling. And I'm sure you can agree with me that, okay, you teach Divi and let you have these type of websites. I mean, come on. So funnels to income, not very good. Divi University, in fact, it's still in progress. But when it comes to working on these big websites like funnels to income, for example, where it requires a bit more power and flexibility, then these are the moments where I'll be using Bricks Builder. Okay, so don't feel that I'm going to jump ship or anything. And of course, you may see me doing some tutorials here and there on Bricks Builder. It doesn't mean that I've moved ship, okay? It just means that I am using Bricks for those advanced workflows, but I'll continue to work with Divi and also create products for Divi at the same time. So anyway, it's tough. Go ahead, join Divi University. If you haven't purchased Divi, I know it's going to be crazy to say this, but do go ahead, purchase Divi because it is good. And I pray that it is going to improve. But at this point right now, yeah, we have a long way to go as Divi users. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments box below. I'd really like to hear your thoughts. And I'm also going to add a poll on my channel. I'd really like to know how many people have jumped ship from Divi and where do they go? I'm just curious to know because like I said in the beginning of the video, I was living in my own bubble. But wow, there's a lot out there. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you again in the next one.